How's it going, everyone? The moment you guys have been waiting for, at least I think you guys have been waiting for, State of Play returns this Wednesday. It is State of Play, no PlayStation Showcase, of course. Maybe we'll have that later this year. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. As officially announced on the PlayStation blog from Herman Holst, head of PlayStation Studios. Hi everyone, 2024 has just begun, and it's time for our very first State of Play. The broadcast will be over 40 minutes long and feature guest appearances from some of the most talented minds in gaming. Among many other updates, will feature extended looks at Stellar Blade and Rise of the Ronin, two great games coming to PS5 this year. And we'll give you a new look at other titles coming to PS5 and PSVR 2 in 2024 and beyond. There are a slate of games that are rumored, but let's go over the nitty-gritty on the main key points. The show begins Wednesday, January 31st at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. GMT on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Here's to a new year of great games, and of course, co-streaming, they have a little bit of a disclaimer on that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think you guys can very much expect that game to be at the event, and I don't want to get people too excited. January 31st is FF7 Day. Final Fantasy VII Remake did have a demo that was released right before the launch of FF7 Remake. I will let you guys do whatever you want to do with that information. You know, I am not saying anything, it's just I offer to you guys that bit of information. Join us January 31st, and they do note 40 minutes covering 15 plus games, and they specifically highlight Stellar Blade and Rise of the Ronin. I do expect there being new announcements and new reveals, but for the most part, I do think this is going to highlight some of the games for the first half of the year. Ronin, we know, is out March. FF7 Rebirth, we do know, is out end of February. There's rumblings about a Metro VR title, which, you know, that kind of piques my interest. It's just, yo, I love Metro. I think it's a great franchise. Locking any game behind PSVR 2, I get it. You gotta have games on the platform to sell the platform, but I just don't know how many people are looking to move to VR 2, and especially, like, bro, it's a $500 platform. Like, I get it, some of you guys have it and you guys really dig it. It's an incredible piece of hardware. I just don't think, from a financial standpoint, it's a viable platform for a lot of people, especially in today's economy. Like, man, $500 is a lot to drop on an accessory device for an existing console, but that's my 2 cents. Concord is also rumored, and they certainly need to get the ball rolling on that game. I thought that game had one of the worst reveal trailers I think I've ever seen in my life. Legitimately garbage. Like, whoever greenlit that Concord trailer, I just don't even know. Especially that trailer and Fair Game. Those debut trailers were an abomination in revealing games. Almost not even, like, those were worse than the Prince of Persia Lost Crown trailer. And that game ended up being awesome, so let's hope Concord and Fair Game ends up being the same. But Sony does need to put some focus on multiplayer titles, and I think in 2024, you know, think of live service all you want. You're gonna get some live service titles, and you're gonna like it. You know, I would have just preferred a Killzone 2 remaster and us calling it a day as far as multiplayer titles go. You guys know how I am, but yeah, we'll see how Concord and Fair Game do. Stellar Blade does seem like that game will be hitting 2024. Sometimes I'm a little bit skeptical, especially when these games are coming from new studios. I look at games like Lost Soul Aside and these games that are in development for so long, and I hope Stellar Blade does not get pushed. But given that they're highlighting the game and they're building the State of Play as this being one of the highlighted games, that does make me a little bit more confident. Now, keep in mind, back in early 2023, a State of Play event in its entirety was built around Suicide Squad, and that game ultimately got delayed for 8 months. So, you know, take it for what it is. But yeah, there's a lot of potential and exciting reveals. I just hope that this is the first of a couple of State of Play events to come, and I still do think we need to set up what the latter portion of the year is. Maybe Stellar Blade will be a second half of 24 title. It was initially scheduled for 23, so I think that game might be further along than a lot of us expect, but that can be one of the pillar games you can build around. And rumblings of Silent Hill 2. Look, I'm critical on Sony first party, but when it comes from their third party partnerships, man, they're gonna have a pretty killer year. If Silent Hill 2 is gonna be this year, if Rise of Ronin we know is this year, FF7 Rebirth, I'm not a fan of this 3-month timed exclusivity nonsense, but if you want to count that in from a third party standpoint, that's gonna be a big release. And just as a game, I mean, that's probably my most anticipated game release of this year, and I know I've been talking up Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, but yo, FF7 Rebirth is on another level, and you guys know me, how they have been shifting the story. Totally on board for that, because either we get something really compelling, or we get a train wreck. It's either way, it's gonna be super entertaining, and like I said, outside of Rise of the Ronin being released on an awful day, same day as Dragon's Dogma 2, that game looks remarkable, and I'm really excited for that, and that setting and that time period, I'm just a sucker for those games, so like, that's obviously gonna be right up my alley. And if we're talking like 15 plus games, I don't know if like a Horizon Forbidden West on PC is gonna be thrown into there. Maybe there could be another PC reveal. I think it would be a very big fumbling if they don't highlight Helldivers 2. You're gonna have a state of play event. A lot of people will be watching. Helldivers 2 is coming out at this time period where there's so many other big games. Let's give Helldivers 2 the final push it deserves, because I think that game is gonna end up surprising a lot of people. And what I really hope for, because it's a simultaneous release on PlayStation and PC, that to me is the kind of game where I could see, you know, people on PC picking it up and realizing, oh, this is a great co-op title, streamers are gonna start playing it, and it could potentially resonate more on PC than it does PlayStation 5, and it could be one of those games that, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be Pal World, far from it, no game can be expected to be a Pal World, but one of those games that after it comes out, people realize it's a fantastic co-op experience, and then it just quietly gets the ball rolling and suddenly people are playing it a lot. That's the type of best case scenario I expect for Helldivers 2. I think, you know, if they offered it as a PlayStation Plus freebie for the month of February, that would have excited a lot of people, or even, you know, throw it into PlayStation Plus Extra. I think that would have opened up the game to a lot more people, and ultimately, that'll eventually happen, but it won't be day one. But, you know, we'll see how it all turns out. By the way, they do note games coming in 2024 and beyond, so there were rumblings about Death Stranding 2 being at this event, and given that Death Stranding 2 most likely will be 2025, you know, take that for what you will. I could see that game being there, and Silent Hill 2 is rumored to be, like, a lot of people are throwing out the Q1 2024 window. That seems way too early to me, and why even release it Q1? You know, you got Rise of Ronin, you got FF7 Rebirth, you got Helldivers 2. That's enough for Q1. Even though, you know, FF7 not really an exclusive, but you got the idea. That's enough for Q1. You've got a lot coming Q1. Let's get Silent Hill 2 maybe sometime in May, June, or even into the latter portion of the year, because that Q1 of 2024 release window that is being rumored for that game, that just seems so strange to me. I'm like, bro, we got enough games in February and March. Let's take our foot off the gas a little bit when it comes to these game releases. Like, my goodness, people's wallets about to be ravaged this year. And I thought 2023 was a chaotic year, but 2024, guys, my goodness, has it been just, you know, a great problem to have, but you do want to time these releases a little bit better, if possible. I get it when it comes to January to March, a lot of publishers are trying to get their games out before the end of the fiscal year, but nonetheless, you get my opinion on that. But excited for it. Obviously, I'll be back here to give you guys my thoughts on it. State of Play is always a pretty decent time, but go into it with your expectations tempered. That's just the way to go. That showcase last year, and because it was referenced to as a showcase, just still gives me, oh my goodness, just not a great show. One of the worst PlayStation events I think I've ever seen, given the expectation level. But nonetheless, excited for this one. Ronin, Stellar Blade, excited to see more gameplay of Stellar Blade especially, and then I would expect Rebirth, and I offer you guys this, January 31st, FF7 Day. FF7 Remake did have a demo right before release, just something to ponder over. But again, that'll do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.